Dr. Emily Green's fascination with the paranormal had led her down many paths, but none as compelling as the forgotten history buried beneath the streets of Edinburgh. It was during one of her routine visits to the city's historical archives that she stumbled upon a map that would unravel centuries-old secrets hidden in the depths below. The archives were a sanctuary of knowledge, lined with shelves that groaned under the weight of ancient tomes and weathered manuscripts. Dr. Green, with her glasses perched on the bridge of her nose and a notebook always at hand, had spent countless hours here, combing through records of wars, plagues, and the enigmatic tales that whispered through Edinburgh's cobblestone streets. On this particular afternoon, she found herself drawn to a section of the archives rarely visited, a corner where dust danced in the dim light filtering through stained glass windows. Among the shelves of crumbling documents and faded maps, a leather-bound book caught her eye. Its spine bore the title Secrets of Edinburgh's Underground, a chronicle of lost tunnels and forgotten mysteries. With careful reverence, Dr. Green pulled the book from its resting place and gently blew away the dust that clung to its cover. The pages within held stories of intrigue and speculation, of tunnels used as hiding places during wartime, escape routes for smugglers, and whispered rumors of ghostly encounters in the depths below. But it was a loose parchment slipped between the pages that seized her attention. A map, drawn in ink faded with age, detailing a labyrinthine network of tunnels winding beneath the city streets. The map marked points of interest, hidden entrances, collapsed passages, and unexplored chambers rumored to hold secrets lost to time. Dr. Green's pulse quickened with excitement as she traced the intricate lines with her finger. Here was tangible evidence of a hidden world waiting to be uncovered, a world where history whispered and ghosts lingered in the shadows. Her mind raced with possibilities. What stories lay buried within those tunnels? What mysteries awaited discovery beneath the city's surface? Dr. Green knew she couldn't explore them alone. She needed a team as dedicated to unraveling the paranormal as she was. Within days, she assembled her small but dedicated team. Sarah Chong, a gifted medium whose ability to commune with spirits would be invaluable in navigating the underground labyrinth. Jake O'Connor, a tech-savvy investigator skilled in setting up and monitoring their array of ghost-hunting equipment. And Mark Johnson, a former military officer whose steady presence and expertise in security would ensure their safety in the unknown depths. Armed with their collective expertise and a sense of anticipation that crackled in the air like electricity before a storm, they gathered at a cafe nestled in the shadow of Edinburgh Castle. Over cups of strong coffee, Dr. Green spread out the map before them, explaining her findings and outlining their mission. "We're on the brink of uncovering something extraordinary," Dr. Green declared, her voice tinged with excitement. "These tunnels hold the key to understanding Edinburgh's hidden past and the paranormal activity that has long fascinated us." Sarah's eyes gleamed with a mixture of apprehension and eagerness. "I can feel it," she murmured, her fingers tracing the lines of the map. "There are spirits down there, restless souls waiting to be heard." Jake nodded, adjusting the strap of his backpack containing their equipment. "We're ready," he affirmed, his eyes fixed on the map. "Let's see what's waiting for us beneath the streets of Edinburgh." Mark's expression was unreadable, his gaze focused on the task ahead. "Safety first," he reminded them, his voice steady and commanding. "We proceed with caution and stay together at all times." With a shared nod of agreement, they folded the map and tucked it safely away. Outside, the skies over Edinburgh were a tumultuous gray, threatening rain, a fitting backdrop for their journey into the unknown. As they made their way through the bustling streets towards the first entrance marked on the map, Dr. Green felt a surge of anticipation mingled with trepidation. They were embarking on an adventure that promised to unravel the mysteries of the past and perhaps shed light on the paranormal phenomena that had drawn them together. Ahead lay the hidden tunnels, the gateway to a world where history and mystery converged, waiting to be explored by those brave enough to seek its secrets. The entrance to the underground tunnels was concealed in plain sight, a weathered stone archway nestled between two ancient buildings, its presence almost overlooked amidst the bustling streets of Edinburgh. Dr. Emily Green and her team stood before it, their anticipation palpable as they prepared to venture into the unknown depths below. Sarah Chong, her senses already attuned to the spiritual energies that pulsed through the city, took a deep breath. The air was cool and carried a faint scent of damp earth, a stark contrast to the bustling city above. She closed her eyes briefly, centering herself before they crossed the threshold into darkness. Dr. Green led the way, her flashlight cutting through the shadows like a beacon. The stone steps descended steeply, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps that had trodden this path before them. Each step echoed softly in the narrow confines of the stairwell, the sound mingling with the distant hum of the city above. Jake O'Connor followed closely behind, his backpack laden with cameras, EVP recorders, and other specialized equipment designed to capture and analyze paranormal activity. He checked the devices one last time, ensuring they were operational and ready to document their journey into the unknown. Mark Johnson brought up the rear, his trained eyes scanning their surroundings for any signs of danger or disturbance. His military instincts were on high alert, attuned to the subtle shifts in atmosphere and the potential threats that lurked in the darkness ahead. As they descended deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels, the atmosphere grew heavier, charged with anticipation and a sense of unreality. The walls were damp and slick with moisture, the air thick with the musty scent of centuries-old decay. Shadows danced on the walls, playing tricks on their senses in the flickering light of their torches. Sarah's senses tingled with the presence of spirits, flickers of energy that brushed against her skin like an unseen breeze. She reached out tentatively, extending her awareness into the spiritual realm. "Is anyone here?" she whispered, her voice barely audible in the confines of the tunnel. The response was subtle at first, a faint whisper that seemed to emerge from the very stone itself. Sarah strained to listen, her senses honed to detect the presence of lingering spirits. "They're here," she murmured, her voice tinged with awe and reverence. "Lost souls, searching for something." Dr. Green listened intently, recording Sarah's observations in her notebook. The team pressed onward, guided by Sarah's insights and the faint echoes of voices that seemed to resonate within the stone walls. Each turn brought them deeper into the heart of Edinburgh's hidden history, unraveling the layers of mystery that shrouded the tunnels. Jake adjusted the settings on their equipment, fine-tuning the sensitivity of the EVP recorders and motion sensors. "All systems are operational," he reported, his voice calm and professional despite the eerie surroundings. Dr. Green nodded in acknowledgement, her mind racing with possibilities. They were on the verge of uncovering secrets buried beneath layers of history, secrets that could shed light on the paranormal phenomena that had drawn them here. Suddenly, the tunnel widened into a chamber, a vast expanse carved from the living rock. The ceiling arched high above them, supported by weathered stone pillars that seemed to stretch into infinity. The chamber was filled with echoes of their footsteps, amplified by the acoustics of the underground space. "This must have been a gathering place," Dr. Green mused aloud, her voice reverberating softly in the silence. "A place where people sought refuge or conducted rituals." Sarah nodded silently, her attention drawn to the walls lined with remnants of the past. Faded graffiti, remnants of old fires, and symbols etched into the stone by those who sought sanctuary or practiced ancient rites. As they explored further, the tunnels twisted and turned, creating a disorienting maze that seemed to defy logic. The team's footsteps echoed eerily in the darkness, accompanied by the occasional drip of water echoing like a distant heartbeat. Jake's voice broke the silence again, his focus on the digital readouts of their equipment. "We're picking up fluctuations in electromagnetic energy," he reported, his tone tinged with excitement. "There's definitely something here." Dr. Green's heart quickened with anticipation as they followed the readings deeper into the labyrinth. They were on the brink of a discovery, one that could unravel the mysteries of Edinburgh's underground and perhaps provide answers to the paranormal phenomena that had drawn them here. The team continued their exploration, guided by Sarah's insights and the readings from their equipment. Shadows flickered on the walls, casting strange shapes that seemed to move and shift with each flicker of their torches. The tunnels stretched endlessly before them, a labyrinth of secrets waiting to be uncovered in the heart of Edinburgh's hidden realm. Deep within the labyrinthine tunnels beneath Edinburgh, Dr. Emily Green and her team had ventured further than they ever imagined possible. The air grew colder, carrying with it a sense of foreboding that intensified with each step deeper into the darkness. They were on the brink of uncovering truths long buried beneath layers of history, truths that whispered through the shadows like echoes of the past. Sarah Chong, her sensitivity to the spiritual realm heightened by their journey, led the way with a quiet determination. Her senses tingled with the presence of restless spirits, their energy swirling around her like a silent storm. She reached out tentatively, extending her awareness into the unseen world that coexisted alongside their own. "They're here," Sarah murmured, her voice a hushed whisper that reverberated softly in the confines of the tunnel. "Waiting, watching," Dr. Green nodded, her flashlight casting a beam of light that danced across the damp walls. Her mind raced with the implications of their discovery. The spirits trapped within these tunnels held the key to understanding the paranormal phenomena that had drawn them here. Jake O'Connor followed closely behind, his focus split between documenting their surroundings and monitoring the readings from their equipment. The EVP recorders crackled with static, capturing faint whispers that seemed to echo from the very stone itself. "We're picking up increased activity," he reported, his voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Mark Johnson remained vigilant, his trained eyes scanning the shadows for any signs of danger. The tunnels seemed to stretch endlessly before them, a maze of twists and turns that defied logic. His military instincts were on high alert, attuned to the subtle shifts in atmosphere and the potential threats that lurked in the darkness. As they pressed onward, the atmosphere grew heavier, charged with the energy of the spirits that surrounded them. Sarah's senses tingled with the presence of a particular entity, a malevolent force whose anger radiated like a palpable wave in the air. "There's something ahead," Sarah murmured, her voice tinged with unease. A presence powerful and angry. Dr. Green tightened her grip on her notebook, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and curiosity. They had come too far to turn back now. They were on the brink of a discovery that could change everything they thought they knew about the paranormal. Suddenly, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber, a cavernous space carved from the living rock. The air was thick with the scent of ancient earth and decay, the silence broken only by the faint drip of water echoing in the distance. In the center of the chamber stood a figure, a spectral form that shimmered like moonlight on water. Its presence filled the space with an overwhelming sense of malevolence, its eyes blazing with an intensity that sent shivers down their spines. Sarah gasped, her instincts screaming a warning as she felt the entity's anger wash over her like a wave. "It's here," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the echoes in the chamber. The spirit, trapped and tormented. Dr. Green stepped forward, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Who are you?" she asked, her words echoing in the silence. "What do you want?" The spirit's response was a chilling whisper, a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Betrayed, forgotten," it murmured, its words laced with bitterness and sorrow. "Seeking vengeance." Sarah closed her eyes, reaching out to the spirit with empathy and understanding. "Tell us your story," she urged gently, her voice a soothing melody in the darkness. "Let us help you find peace." The spirit's form flickered, its energy pulsating with a raw intensity that threatened to overwhelm them. Memories flashed before their eyes, visions of betrayal, tragedy, and a thirst for retribution that had consumed the spirit for centuries. Dr. Green listened intently, her mind racing to piece together the fragments of the spirit's story. "You were wronged," she acknowledged, her voice filled with compassion. But vengeance will not bring you the peace you seek. The spirit's rage intensified, its presence swirling around them like a storm unleashed. Shadows danced on the walls, casting grotesque shapes that seemed to mock their efforts to understand. "We can help you," Dr. Green persisted, her words a lifeline in the darkness. "Let go of your anger. Find forgiveness." For a moment, the chamber was filled with a tense silence, a fleeting pause in the tumult of emotions that surged around them. The spirit wavered, its form flickering as if caught between worlds. And then, with a final whisper that echoed in their hearts, the spirit released its grip on the material realm. Its energy dissipated like smoke in the wind, leaving behind a profound stillness that settled over the chamber like a shroud. Sarah breathed a sigh of relief, her shoulders slumping with the weight of their encounter. "It's gone," she murmured, her voice filled with awe and wonder. Dr. Green nodded, her eyes shining with a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. "We did it," she said softly, her words a testament to their perseverance and compassion in the face of the unknown. As they made their way back through the tunnels, their footsteps echoed softly in the silence. The air was lighter now, charged with the remnants of the spirit's energy that lingered like a gentle breeze. "We've uncovered something remarkable," Dr. Green mused aloud, her mind already racing with thoughts of their next steps. "But our work is far from over." Mark nodded in agreement, his expression reflecting the gravity of their discovery. "There are still more mysteries waiting to be unraveled," he acknowledged, his voice steady and resolute. Jake adjusted the strap of his backpack, his gaze lingering on the walls lined with symbols and remnants of the past. "We've barely scratched the surface," he said, his voice filled with a sense of awe and anticipation. With a shared nod of agreement, they continued their journey through the tunnels, guided by their curiosity and a shared determination to uncover the truths that lay hidden beneath Edinburgh's streets. In the depths of Edinburgh's underground tunnels, Dr. Emily Green and her team found themselves standing on the precipice of discovery. The air around them was heavy with anticipation and the palpable energy of the paranormal realm they had penetrated. They had ventured far beyond the familiar streets of the city above, into a world where shadows danced with ancient secrets and whispered echoes of the past. Sarah Chong, the team's sensitive medium, felt the shift in energy keenly. Her senses, finely attuned to the spiritual frequencies that permeated the tunnels, tingled with a mixture of apprehension and curiosity. As they navigated deeper into the labyrinthine passages, she could sense a gathering presence, an entity whose essence pulsed with unresolved emotions. Dr. Green led the way, her flashlight casting a steady beam that cut through the darkness like a guiding beacon. Her mind raced with questions and possibilities, spurred on by the tantalizing clues they had uncovered thus far. The tunnels seemed to stretch endlessly before them, their walls adorned with remnants of history, faded graffiti, weathered symbols, and the lingering whispers of those who had walked these paths long ago. Jake O'Connor followed closely behind, his focus split between documenting their surroundings and monitoring the readings from their array of ghost hunting equipment. Cameras mounted on tripods captured the eerie stillness of the tunnels, while EVP recorders recorded faint whispers and unexplained noises that echoed in the shadows. Mark Johnson, ever vigilant, brought up the rear, his trained eyes scanning for any signs of danger or disturbance. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of foreboding as they ventured further into the heart of the underground labyrinth, each step echoing softly in the cool, damp air. As they proceeded deeper into the tunnels, Sarah's senses heightened. She could feel the presence of spirits lingering in the shadows, their energies fluctuating like distant echoes of emotion. "There's something ahead," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "A powerful presence, filled with anger." Dr. Green nodded, her expression grave yet determined. They had anticipated encountering spirits within the tunnels, but the intensity of the entity's energy took them aback. They pressed on, their footsteps echoing softly in the vast emptiness that surrounded them. Suddenly, the tunnel widened into a cavernous chamber, a vast expanse carved from the ancient stone. The ceiling arched high above them, supported by weathered pillars that seemed to bear the weight of centuries-old secrets. In the center of the chamber stood a spectral figure, a manifestation of energy and emotion that radiated with an intensity that sent chills down their spines. Sarah gasped, her instincts on high alert as she sensed the entity's malevolent presence. "It's here," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and awe. A spirit, trapped and tormented. Dr. Green stepped forward cautiously, her gaze fixed on the apparition before them. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "What has brought you to this place?" The spirit's response was not in words, but in waves of emotion: anger, betrayal, and a profound sense of loss. Sarah closed her eyes, reaching out to the spirit with empathy and understanding. "Tell us your story," she implored softly. "Let us help you find peace." The chamber seemed to pulse with the spirit's energy, shadows flickering on the walls like echoes of memories long past. Dr. Green listened intently, piecing together the fragmented emotions and images that surfaced in their midst. They were glimpses of a life cut short by tragedy, of promises broken and souls left restless in the wake of unresolved grievances. "We can help you," Dr. Green continued, her voice a beacon of compassion in the darkness. "Release your anger, find forgiveness." For a moment, the chamber was filled with a tense silence, a fragile balance between the living and the dead. The spirit wavered, its form flickering like a candle in the wind. And then, with a final whisper that reverberated in their hearts, the spirit dissipated into the ether, its energy dispersing into the surrounding darkness. Sarah sighed with relief, her shoulders sagging with the weight of their encounter. "It's gone," she murmured, her voice tinged with awe and wonder. Dr. Green nodded, her eyes reflecting the gravity of their experience. "We helped it find peace," she said softly, a sense of fulfillment coloring her words. "We've made a difference." As they made their way back through the tunnels, their footsteps echoed softly in the silence. The air felt lighter now, charged with the remnants of the spirit's energy that lingered like a gentle breeze. They had ventured into the depths of Edinburgh's hidden realm and emerged forever changed, their understanding of the paranormal deepened by their encounter with the restless spirit. "We've uncovered something profound," Dr. Green reflected aloud, her thoughts already turning to their next steps. "But there's still much to learn." Mark nodded in agreement, his expression serious yet thoughtful. "There are more mysteries waiting to be unraveled," he acknowledged, his voice steady with determination. Jake adjusted the strap of his backpack, his mind racing with the possibilities that lay ahead. "We're just scratching the surface," he said, his tone filled with a mixture of excitement and reverence. With a shared nod of agreement, they continued their journey through the tunnels, guided by their curiosity and a shared commitment to unraveling the secrets that lay hidden beneath Edinburgh's streets.